Alright, this video I'm going to go over some pretty simple strumming patterns and how to get started on those. We're going to look at using quarter notes and eighth notes. First, just looking at the quarter notes, we're going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing difficult there. But what I want to kind of show out is quarter notes we're going to play all down picks. And then we're going to start using our eighth notes, which are going to be an and in between the 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it could be like all together 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, which is just playing 8 eighth notes. There's nothing interesting going on there. So I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting and maybe do like, I'll do 2 quarter notes and then 4 eighth notes. So it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. So the ands, those eighth notes, are twice as fast. That meaning I'm not going to change how I'm moving my arm. I don't want to like have to pick twice as fast down picking. I'm going to pick down on the quarter notes, and on the ands I'll pick up. So that 1, 2, 3, up, 4, up. The ands are going to be up. So just in direction, it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And for this, just use a simple chord. Don't worry about the left hand so much. Just get your right hand used to the pattern and make sure you can repeat it over and over without slowing down or making a mistake or just staying on time and getting it solid. For this, I'm just going to use an A minor chord and a C major chord. You can use whatever you want with it. But it's going to be down, 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 up, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. With some volume this time. And now we can try those on putting those ands into different spots. Let's do 1, 2, and 3, 4. We can do 1 and 2 and 3, 4. There I'm using a technique called a stop. After the 4, I'm just with my right hand, just part of my hand, I'm just going like that on the strings, just hitting the strings real quick to silence them. Sometimes those are really useful to make your chord change nice and clean, because there's no way to like teleport your fingers from one chord to the other. There's a little bit of time it takes to get to one to the other, and that can make it sound just nice and clean. It kind of gives it a little bit more of a rhythmic value. Some other things to watch for on this are, well, I'll bring this up as I'm going over these chords, these open chords, like a C chord. I don't know if I'm in the angle here. The A chord, C chord, D chord. Most of these chords we usually don't want to use the E string on. D we never want to use the E string. C and A we can, but it's a little overpowering, so I like to leave that E string out a lot of times, my 6th string, the top string. So what I'll do is, so I'm not worrying about how I'm strumming and not getting distracted by trying to avoid hitting that string or hitting it by accident, I'm going to use my thumb over the top of this neck here, and it's going to just butt against the side of the string, so I'm keeping it quiet. It's not going to make much noise. It's not going to be heard over the other strings. Now I can strum all 6 strings, and I'm not hearing that E string. Works good for D, C, and our A chords. So that's a helpful technique for just kind of less to worry about to distract you for your strumming hand. Now mainly I'm kind of just keeping the strum direction down on my quarter notes and up on my eighth notes. That's just to keep my arm always in the same kind of motion and speed, working like a clock. If I'm going down picking twice as fast for the eighth notes, which is possible with a 1, 2, 3, and 4 and, it's easier to throw myself off time, and also there's a difference in our up and down pick, so I'm getting more variation by playing up on the eighth notes. And you'll kind of just try that out, play downwards and upwards. And listen to the difference. We're going to emphasize the higher notes playing upwards, and the lower notes usually get emphasized playing downwards. So there is a difference, and it's always interesting to mix it up a little bit so it's not just down, up, down, up, down, up constantly. Another thing to consider was also the way we're filling in notes. We start with 4 quarter notes, we start throwing in eighth notes and more eighth notes. You can add more, but a lot of people forget also there's a good saying in music, less is more. Try to take some notes away. We could take the 3 out, so I'm doing 1, 2, and 4 and. Another one that's really cool to do is take the 1 out. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4 and, but I'm not going to play the 1. So it's 1. So sometimes just subtracting numbers is all it's going to take, subtracting one of the strums. To stay on time, a lot of times when I do that, I'm actually going to make a movement of a strum, just not hit the string. So keeps it just easier to stay on time at first. When you get used to doing that, then you won't have to do that necessarily. Or you can throw in some other things like a string mute, where we're getting more of a percussive sound, or a chop. Basically, for string mute, I'm going to just rest my hand across all the strings without pushing down to make a note, and strum through the strings. We use those a lot for percussive effects on a guitar. So even practicing going chord, mute, with bar chords work really unique for that. Really not unique, they're convenient, I should say, or power chord, whatever. I'll just take a A major bar chord, and I'm going to go chord, mute, chord, mute. Alright, I played a G as well. It kind of reminds me of 5 to 1. And start playing around with the rhythms that way. Excellent advice to do this with a metronome. You'll see it really pays off. And this is just a short video on this. I got a lot more I'm going to be uploading over this weekend, actually. I'm finally getting back into doing videos, and thanks for watching.